but it's even more important that we all remain respectful at all times, even if we don't agree with what the speakers are saying. Because this is going to be broadcast on the community centre, and more to the point, where we will recorded forever after. So when we're asking questions, and I will come around with a microphone, so I'm going to give you some basic training on this. Switch it on, give your name clearly, and talk very directly. Very sensitive phones, unless you have it on your mouth. And ideally, come to the podium to talk, if you can bring yourselves to. I will be employing, if it gets really heated, I've yet to use it, yellow and red cards. Yellow if I think you're abusing your microphone usage, taking too long, generally being irresponsible. Red is I actually think you should leave the room because it's totally inappropriate. We do have rules and regulations, and we are entitled to reject you if we think it's an inappropriate statement. I've never had to use this, and I hope it won't be tonight, I doubt it. There's a very busy agenda, and I'm going to try and get through all this business by 7:15. If we get through, then we can have a 10-minute breather, and then it's back into the speakers that we've invited, and they've got a short brief each. So, in terms of apologies, I have had apologies from Martin Osborne, who is one of our board members from this year, and I have also had apologies from our local councillors, Councillor Everett, Councillor David Amos, and I think Councillor Hopkins. I don't think there's anybody else who sent their apologies. Sorry. And Craig Woodman, who is chair of the Vauxhall City Fund. The minutes of our last meeting have been on our website for about a year. No one has sent in any comments, and so I am now going to take them as the final record. I doubt anybody can even remember them, and I revisited them today. So I shall move swiftly into my chair's report. It's been a consolidating work behind the scenes. The board took a view that they wished to focus their time and efforts on one thing and do it well, rather than lots of things. So last year, you noticed we were much more in the public domain, we ran a lot of meetings. This year, we did one thing, advancing the neighbourhood plan, and that has been an uphill struggle. We implemented our first grant from locality, and we just secured funding for a second round, which will take us a bit further than the neighbourhood planning forum states. We've also incorporated ourselves at Company's House, presented our remediation account there, so that we are ready to receive SIL, which is funding from the construction going on around the area in due course. Colleagues of mine are going to talk you that in detail. This is just the highlights, so watch this space. The board has met regularly, almost every week, to develop a neighbourhood plan. You're always welcome to join us. We meet on Monday mornings, just over the road from here. And we presented initial ideas for public consultation back around, I think, Easter time, maybe earlier. So many of you will have seen it, in particular at the local market in Smart Church and various other locations. We've now commissioned consultants to bring together the ideas that you fed back to our consultation and turn it into what I call planning ease. And the second round of funding from locality is going to take us to the point we hope that we can have examination by an inspector. And we need to have that and produce a plan with another bit of consultation first before we go to referendum. We did run one major public meeting in April to demonstrate the power of community distribution of funding. And that was with a view to us taking on SIL in the future. That's something that we want to do, because that's going to be a component, we hope, of and maybe a plan. Once we get it through, we will be entitled to allocate 25% of SIL to come directly to the community. The community decide how to spend it, rather than going straight into the central coffers of Lambeth Council. Through that meeting, with public support, we were able to support 3 local ventures with £500 each. And that money was partly given to us by the local forum network, but pound for pound was actually fundraised by individual members or boards. Notably, myself, Speak, Michael Keane, who sold books at the open market, and various other activities. Those local ventures have borne fruit already. So we supported 3 things. Law Street to support their continued work with children, and they have been able to expand and seek some new posts that they've advertised and retweeted about. We were able to support Triangle, who had a significant funding gap and were threatening to be unable to keep the centre open throughout summer, which is a critical time when parents need help with childcare, and we were able to fill that gap, and they have now secured a little bit more funding, and I see Jim here, he can give us more information later. And then finally, we gave seed funding to buy the Kennington Park estate residents time to take on management of this community centre and put together our business plan and reopen it when Hyde withdrawing its services and looking after these facilities. And that is partly why we're here tonight, is that we're benefiting from that hard work. Notice the paint, which was done by a local resident voluntarily. In addition, the board has undertaken representations on a whole host of planning applications and provided quarterly newsletters. One success is that Berkeley owners withdrew their original master plan. This was in part because the council could see that there was insufficient affordable housing and employment space being offered at the outset before even financial viability assessment, markets, review and planning consultation. They are now consulting again with revised plans. We've yet to see them. I'll come back to that too. We hope these new plans will take into account the alternative proposals prepared by Create Streets for much lower rise, equally dense occupation, which won't denigrate the historical use of the gas holder from the cricket ground. We also want to make sure, and this is something we're particularly keen on, that there is a sizable area of new public park to address the significant open space deficiency that is in that area and that we have evidence for. None of this is achievable without an amazing set of people, as I said at the beginning of my talk, who work tirelessly for the community. Managing leaders who's hiding, but who has held us together with notes, meeting rooms, reminders, supporting drafts and key documents at critical moments, and generally keeping us on track. Byron, my technical guru, who sorts me out when I can't convert PDFs into the right format, and has done our newsletters on a quarterly basis, and is responsible today for doing the live streaming and trialing it and even attempting to understand the technical ease. David, our planning expert, you'll be hearing very shortly, who has worked tirelessly for many years, not just the last year, really does deserve our thanks. Andrea, who keeps me sane, and is the primary lead organiser, host campaigner and leader of public consultation works. She put together all the planning proposals you saw that were taken around to various meetings, and was just generally the practical person in the room. Martin, who contributed work on our employment strategy, but can't be here tonight, and then Michael Keane, our photographer and amazing treasurer, and I'm sure you'll know, treasurers of Michael's calibre do not grow on trees, so we're very, very lucky to have them. Looking to the future, the board is continuing to work hard. It will be aiming to deliver a referendum in the future, but thereafter it is likely to be down to others to take things forward. We as a committee work tirelessly. We would warmly welcome any new volunteers. We need people though to be self-starters. We can't give you instructions. But after that, it will be down to you. You, the community, need to take ownership of this neighbourhood plan. I'm now going to pass over to our treasurer to give you much more detail about our finances, and then we'll move to election of the board.
Good evening, everybody. This is the highlight of the AGM, the Treasurer's report. This year will be no exception, I hope. We are a very small organisation, so the accounts which I've distributed out will be published on the website in due course. Just one important technical change. When we became a neighbourhood planning group, one of the requirements for us to get any funding is we had to become a limited company. So we're now registered as Kennington Oval and Vauxhall Forum Limited, and the numbers I'm quoting today are the accounts which were submitted for the end of the financial year. So it's a position at March 17. One of the things I said in previous years, the way we get our money is it always looks like we've got loads of money because it's done at the end of March, but it's because of the way the money flows in. So it comes in before March and it goes out rapidly, and then at some point it gets near zero and it goes up again. So that's the nature of our funding. So our income, should say one of the things we felt obliged to do, because of the way we've got funded, we've got three different sets of money. The general fund, that's what all forums in Lamford and elsewhere get. They'll have just general funding for running public meetings. The neighbourhood planning fund, so any group that's got a neighbourhood plan remit will have to do that. Finally, the community fund total, which is basically, that's where we issue grants from. There are three ring-fenced sets of funds. As at the end of March 2017, I'll round the figures here, we have £5,000 in the general fund, 8,200 in the neighbourhood plan, and £600 left in the community fund. Total income for the year. Total income of 13,800, and the expenditure for the year was £11,860. So right at the end of the year, we actually ended up with £17,298 in the bank. So we're healthy for another year. But as I say, the money completes as the year progresses. Then hopefully we get some more money. Now on the balance sheet, which again we made available on the website, very detailed text. One thing I would like to say, I think I like a lot about organisations. We will list every transaction that we've had back over the years that we've ever had. So if you want to check the accounts, feel free. I would welcome anybody coming forward. It's too small to have a formal audit. If anybody wants to come and help me out on audit, I'll be more than assistant being an assistant treasurer, and they'll be most welcome. Any questions? Thank you, goodness. Thank
you, Michael. And any questions for me as chair as well? Now's your opportunity for it to be taken as read that our reports are accepted. Great. Okay. Election of the board. We advertise for new board members, and we gave notice of our intention to stand for another year. We unfortunately received no nominations by the 9th of October. We take that as a compliment, but I'm also sad that nobody wants to step forward. You'll hear this is repeated freely, and we do need you to step forward. On the basis that we've received no objections, I'm recommending that the board has been selected to serve for another year. Do I have a nominating to second any objections in the room? Okay, Polly nominates us. Everyone else seconds us. No further objections? Then we are elected. So just to remind you, that's David, Andrea, Marilyn, Byron, Michael, Lee, and Martin. So I'm now going to be very swiftly on, so that we're ahead of time. Can you come up, David, to give your plan review?
Hold on. Can I have 1 minute to get the screen up? Yeah.
This is a very quick tour of what's going on, and from out of that, what's happening on neighbourhood plan. If I can have tall buildings up first.
Hang on.
Check everything else that is going on. What we've got are four new tall buildings. We've got the Oxford Rectory itself. We've got Bandar School. We've got the Old Town Hall in Kennington, Lurky, wanting to be a hospital. We've got Gasholder site, which is coming back. We've got the old science station at Albert Bank, which is thinking about a considerable development, but focusing on a museum. And there's the Pharmaceutical Society building, which is causing some aggravation to users from Causeway Square. Okay, Tall Tower, next one please. This is the Tall Tower at 17 Newport Street. It was withdrawn because of objection. It's 11 stories high, demolishing a new modern five-story building. It just justifies itself because it's not in accordance with the development plan. It just justifies itself as being here things which are within the development plan. We don't like it. Next one, please.
Oh, too fast. Sorry about that. Too fast. On the way to the end. Sorry. That one?
We think this is one. Yes, please. This is what we may be getting more about this evening. This is the latest proposal for the Vauxhall Triangle. This is brought with a developer called Wendover. It was sold in April of this year to a different developer based in Jersey called BCI. It's sold for a record £94 million, which gives it a third of a hectare. It means it's sold for £261 million per hectare. A new record for Lambeth. If you go walking on the Vauxhall Triangle and find a square of grass, it's safe for turf because it's worth £26,000. It's going to be a monster development, but it's missed it. A monster development, at least £1,000 million gross development value. It should yield at least 15 million of community infrastructure levy. Water comes our way. It doesn't conform to a development plan, but there's nothing that Vauxhall does these days. We may make more about it and the aspirations for it. It's got a lot of office space, which is interesting, given that we've lost so much, and the pendulum is now swinging back in favour, because offices at Vauxhall are costing £4 a square foot now to rent. That's what it is. This is the Graphite Square. There's arguments about the three towers in the middle of the I'll give you the next picture, please.
Sure.
That, you'll see representing the monument on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, that's the view you'll get from one of the towers. And those who were previously before develop on half of the developer say that's unusual impact. Yes. That's the sort of quality of appraisal you can buy if you're a wealthy developer. Next one, please. And this is planning. This is 6 to 12 Kennington Lane, Jewson site. You'll see that it is the sort of big tower there, one in grey, and it just justifies itself because it's not in an area for tall buildings, because it's a long line from the tall building in Elephant and Castle, which is to the George Finch blocks on the left-hand side. So if you draw this line between it, it's below it, and that's how it justifies itself. It's modulating from one to the other. So that's the sort of tall building pressure in the city. We've also got Vauxhall Rectory. As you know, the air quality in Vauxhall is dreadful. If it was a toxic waste, it's 7 times the tolerated levels in terms of the amount of early death it produces. deduces something like 1 death for every 500 adults per year exposed to it at a continuous basis. You don't see that much on the brochures of developers saying, I'm putting this block in this area, and this is the consequence. Though increasingly agents may tell you about air quality in your neighbourhood. There's been what's called a screening application. Because if you're a big development and you are in a sort of environmentally sensitive area, you have to ask the local authority whether they can let you off doing a full environmental impact assessment of what alternative you consider, whether they're any better than the ones you're proposing. The TfL did a little study, asked Lambeth, can you let us off? And Lambeth has said, yes, we can let you off, despite the fact that your the EU criteria which say, if you're in breach of EU levels, if you're dense, then you really ought to be thinking about doing an EIA. No, not by Lambeth. By contrast, the tall tower you saw, the big one, on the Vauxhall Triangle, has put a scoping regulation in. And that says, I want to do an EIA, and here's the balance, here's what I think is important, do agree, and that's currently over. So it's planning application, they see a lot of what they're proposing. At least from that perspective, full marks for that developer for acknowledging that he's building in a seriously environmental sensitive area. At the same time, you've got the developers of 6 to 12 Kennington Lane, the zip wire tower. He also is going to do the but he's on the margins of the congestion charge, so which is broadly margin of killer air. Now, what else have we got? There are various developments which have managed to persuade Lambeth, but they really can't afford a lot of affordable housing. One in particular, 12 Wyville Road, we have serious doubts about. There's the Vanguard School, which is on Kennington Road, which seems to have a fair wind. The old town hall I mentioned. We put an application in to turn itself into a pile-on-high, red cheap possible. It's using 7.2, so these can stack 3 high, and hence improve the returns per square metre. It's a listed building, it doesn't have disability-friendly access. It didn't have laboratories last time, we classified as a hostel. They put more batteries in, they are pretending to market the property. And we expect an application to move forward to justify themselves again, probably for that use. There's accusation about the design of the head house on Kennington Green. Some of you may be aware of that. It's an issue. You've got the right colour in, but you haven't got the right bill for. And so it's gone to planning committee again, having been rejected the first time as adverse to the conservation area. You feel it's an issue which is important to a lot of people there. It's also important because eventually we're going to get Kennington Green back as green space. Green space is one of the important issues. That's all the site, as you heard, and we're going to get it coming back again for consultation. Problem with Castle societies, the people who want to consult are only half the area. So that is the gas networks, others have got half of it. The other half is Tesco, and Tesco are not playing. And so we've got 5.3 hectares, which is a seriously large area worth developing. And that is only, you have a wall where you want to have permeability. You've got a wall because Tesco are not prepared to take it down yet. So that's all the issue. It's in play. Build fire station, well, they're running exhibitions. We hope to have it as a mixed-use development with the fire station museum. Nice idea, and they're running their activities on the site. We wait to see whether the amenity for neighbours is adequate on that one. Pharmaceutical Society I mentioned, It's an issue about reviews management. There's a local reviews management framework which everyone forgot about. So the Pharmaceutical Society building which violates it, only one will notice. By now it's got planning permission, and so it will happily build on. It's an issue which we will address in the neighbourhood plan about paying attention to the reviews, actually logging them on the app. At the moment they're all on watch. You can't actually notice which reviews are reported. So back to a neighbourhood plan. What do we think? Well, I know what I think when I see what I say. We're drafting the document. We have been concerned about the viability assessment of affordable housing. Lambeth itself has moved on that, as has the Mayor of London. We're now talking sort of fast track, if you promise, 35% affordable housing. And the white sort of mix, white proportion of social housing. We didn't get away with that viability study, but only if. And all our concerns have been that there's some very nefarious things going on under cover of viability assessment. Whenever you get the full version, you see some of the questions or assumptions made. And we therefore always said that you need to have complete openness. Lambeth says complete openness, we accept.
There may be exceptions. Now, to my mind, in this sort of area, an exception is 1 to 20. I suspect that developers who are very attached to confidentiality will try for it on many occasions. We've gone beyond the realm of argument. It's a question of evidence, and so we should be issuing environmental information regulation requests for all forthcoming developments, because they will see what proportion of the the gas holders are an important area. We've made reference to that. We've made reference to alternative development, which don't prejudice the 41 metre gas holder in the middle by having large towers outside of it. We want public open space. We want a hectare or so of public park. We are concerned about basement development. So now it turns out it's Lambeth who are thinking of putting the supplementary planning document down. And so we will be a bit forward running on that one as we see it. In relation to views, so idea has been going around identifying cherished views that are current arrangements with regard to the Lambeth local funds. And as I said, we have an improved mechanism which we would like propose to make sure that people actually take any notice of them, because it's been quite plain that when you engage, when developers engage consultants, Lambeth will mark their cards which views they ought to account on, and Lambeth failures not being marked in content of people in relation to local views. How much more do you want to be in relation to that?
That's enough for the time being. I just wanted to add something. I'm just going to grab some notes from my phone. That a group of neighbourhood planning forums, we are not alone, across Lambeth met and agreed a 10-point plan that we are intending to put to Lambeth to justify proposals. They are consulting at the moment on something called a statement of community involvement. And what we have asked for is that the local authority makes available to us up-to-date ordnance survey mapping access. They present a simple guide on the strategic and non-strategic policies that are currently in the local plan. They make it a council requirement for developers of major schemes to consult the local neighbourhood forums at early stage in the development, REBA stage 0, 1 and 2. They allocate a dedicated Lambeth council officer with the necessary experience to support the neighbourhood forums. They ensure that they have, this officer's duties include at least 1 day a month of surgeries to help the forums with ad hoc advice, because it is an uphill struggle to get there. They allow the council to, they allow us as neighbourhood plan forums to use the council's planning database so that we can send notifications out rather than recreating our own databases. That they modify the local application requirements list to demonstrate their consultation has met equality standards. They require the developer to produce a publicly accessible environmental impact assessment so that the likes of TfL on the gyratory can't get away with screening it out. They publish for public scrutiny in full without exception, as you've just heard, the justification not only financial viability assessment relating to affordable housing, but also on proposed building heights and why they want to get it away. And that's a 10-point plan that we're intending to put across Lambeth to the council when we've finally drafted it accurately. Does anybody have any questions? Have you seen the consultation on the neighbourhood plan? You didn't see it. So do you know what it contains at all?
The more publicity, the better.
Okay. I've seen that Councillor Holland is here, so I'm actually going to take advantage of her presence and invite her up now to give a report on the Oval Ward.
Hi everybody. Okay. Hello everyone, my name's Claire Holland. I'm a councillor in Oval Ward. Thank you very much for inviting me tonight. I'm sorry that I missed the beginning of David's stuff. I heard that it was a lot about planning. I was asked to come, my understanding was to give a report on Oval Ward. I know that you're going to have a presentation tonight about the island site, and so I'm going to leave it to those guys to do that in terms of planning. As you know, in terms of the bus station, that's out of consultation at the moment. I'm assuming that David's already covered that. And I think that closes on the 3rd of November, David, doesn't it? Yeah. I don't know if you know that there was a recent application for a town, Rudolph Place. Did you cover that? Okay. So, at the bottom of Vauxhall Park, on South Lambeth Road, there was an application for more student accommodation on Rudolph Place. I don't know if KOV put in any objections or representations into it. I know Friends of Vauxhall Park did, because there's a slight loss of light projected at certain times of the year, in addition to the loss of light of the existing. So I went along and I opposed the application on the grounds that the saturation point, that it's for students. We've already got the block next door being built for students. We've got a hub opposite for students. There was a very long and robust discussion with all the members of the committee asking lots of questions of the developers and the officers. It was then passed by 3-2. So you can access the minutes, but if anyone wants any more information, I'm happy to give that. So I sat through the whole planning application. Did you cover Vauxhall Park already? No, but that's hopefully steering group will be effective soon. We're just waiting for that to all come together. As you know, there's been a big consultation about Vauxhall Park, improvements in Vauxhall Park, what people want from the master plan. And so hopefully that's going to be coming live soon. And so watch this space and make an input into that. David's already mentioned the Kennington Green Head House. That was rejected by the planning committee last year on the basis of its design. Kennington Green is down Kennington Road. I don't know if you all know, it's like behind Tesco's. And that's going to be part of the Northern Line extension, and it's a head house that will go there. And it was the actual design that was rejected on last year and all sorts of aspects of it. And that's going back to committee, I think in December or maybe November, I don't know. And that's out for consultation now. So again, if you want to comment, please do. And I'll be meeting the Kennington Green group. Separately to that, the Northern Line extension, we had our 9 Elms and Oval Northern Line extension community liaison group this week, which I chair. The issues at that were just general issues around track form, and there's going to be a big consultation meeting on track form in November. Track form means I'm not an engineer, traffic engineer or anything, but it just, I think, literally means the type of track, the material, and things like that. And it was a big part of the inquiry, the public inquiry that David probably knows more about, the public inquiry when the original application was made for the Northern Line extension. So there's going to be a meeting, a public meeting for anyone who wants to come to ask, see what track form is being proposed, ask questions about it, find information. TfL are putting this on.
You'll get it better. Which one?
Group is because it's a TfL project. So as local councillors, we agreed to chair groups so that the local community can meet with TfL and all the different contractors and technical people and engineers on a regular basis in order to raise their concerns and in order to ensure that TfL were accountable throughout the whole process. So I've been doing that since 2014. I chair the 9 Elms and Oval group, so that covers this area with the track going onto Plainlands and Fenton and all the way under Sainsbury's and 9 Elms. And then there's the extension of that to Battersea Dogstone. There's a separate group for Kennington Park, and there's a separate group for Kennington Green. So if you want any information about any of those groups, please do contact me, and I can give you information about when they meet and who to get in contact with. That's for members of the public just to come. One matter that was reported back at the group on Monday, whatever night it was that we had it, was that actually the tunnel, there are 2 tunnels going between the loop from Kennington and Battersea Power Station being built at slightly different rates. And the tunnel has gone under this particular area of Oval already, and the TfL were reporting that they were surprised at no complaints about noise. It's been really quiet. There's been a few things about like one door being stuck, and what they do is they go and look at it and then they go back again to check whether there's any, just after it's settled, to check that there's no problem. So that all seems to be going on time, and the residents were very pleased about that. I don't know what else you want to know about the area, but in terms of my work as a councillor and my colleagues in the ward, I would say that by far and away the biggest portion of our caseload is around housing, lack of housing, and around, we have some casework around fly tipping, and obviously, rubbish, and we also now currently have casework around universal credit. I don't know if you know, but the government's rolling out universal credit. It's been on a pilot scheme, and it's not going very well. They spent yesterday debating it in Parliament. We had a council meeting last night, and the leader of the council, Liv Peck, did her address to council, chose to speak about that. And we are campaigning very hard to ask the government to stop that because it's going to have a profound impact on our residents. It needs to be done properly because one of the difficulties is that people are getting into debt because of the way it's being administered and causing all sorts of problems. This impacts rent and just all sorts of problems. So there's that that's going on that is becoming an increasing feature of our casework at the moment. So yeah, the main thing is housing. I heard David mention your new town hall, and that's a project where we've rebuilt the town hall to reduce council properties from 14 to 2. There were 14 council properties having to be administered and paid for, etc. We've reduced that to 2, that's the plan, and that's going to save at least £4.5 million a year. In terms of the housing in that, it's something like 47% affordable. So when we have our own projects, we have a target. Our original policy was for our own land of 50%. As David said, the Mayor has introduced a fast track for developers who want to come and say, we will do 35% guaranteed. It's supposed to be able to then fast track through planning. So we'll see how that goes and how many applicants do that. Now, one of the difficulties with housing, as you know, is the cost of housing in this area for private rented is very high. It does mean that we have a very mobile population. So if someone's lucky enough to own their own home, that's fine. If you're not, renting is really, really high because of commercial market rents. Another problem is the number of houses that are taken out of council stock because of right to buy. And our pledge in 2014 was to increase the number of houses that we built or flats, units at council rent. And we're on target for that. And we, this year, have opened our first council homes, first being built in a generation. There are some also currently being built, more being built, some in the pipeline. So that's good, but it's going to nowhere near dent our housing waiting list, which is huge. We have over 20,000 people on the housing waiting list in our borough alone, so it's massive. And one of the other things that we notice about this area overall is we are the most unequal ward in the borough. So we're not the most impoverished, but we're the most unequal. And that's what the data tells us. It tells us that we have affluence and wealth and professionals, but we also have pockets of severe deprivation as well. So that's quite interesting when it comes to if you have an area, in terms of policy, so if you have an area that's completely deprived, so for example, Lambeth Early Action Partnership, lottery funding money we went has gone to the 4 most deprived areas in the borough, which tend to be around Brixton. And of course, because we do have wealth, and we're not the poorest, but we are unequal, that presents the same policy challenges for us. What else can I report back on? Education. I don't know if you know that this year the GCSE, the way that they're measured has changed. So we, instead of having 8 weeks now, they're rolling out 1 to 9. We did very well, and I'm pleased to say that our schools around here did very well. Lily and Baylis did excellently. It's hard to compare to previous years. In Lambeth, over 90% of our schools are good or outstanding, which is really great because people want to come to our schools. It means that we, in the area, we have local employers, etc. And it's just very good for our area, good for business. One of the difficulties is the school funding cuts, that again will have an impact on Oval and our area. So that's something to keep an eye on, that's still ongoing. And I don't know if there's any specific questions, but they were the sort of headlines that I wanted to tell you. Oh, there's a consultation out about healthy routes that was launched on Friday. I don't know if you want to go, and you can go online on Lambeth Council website and look at what that's about encouraging cycling and walking, because our aim is to be the most cycle-friendly borough in London. Obviously, that comes with some difficulties. For example, I've done quite a lot of casework on the cycle routes up Harleford Road, and again, I don't know if we discussed this as KOV, but there are teething problems when TfL put in the routes. There are things like getting it right about the cycle lights when they go green, and the pedestrians and things like that, and it's about promoting the flow of cycling, keeping pedestrians safe, and also not messing up traffic too much. So there's stuff I've been doing there, and also as you turn left on Kennington Park Road, down into Kennington Road, the sequencing of the lights there. But I guess those things are going to happen when you have these big new schemes, and it's about us all working together as a community. Yeah, I don't know if you've got any questions.
I was going to say, thank you very much. That was a very wide-ranging. Will you stay there in case there are questions? Just to clarify one thing, yes. We would, when David mentioned Kennington Old Town Hall, he was not referring to Brixton Town Hall, but it was useful to hear anyway. So does anybody have any questions? This is the roving mic. Now's your opportunity.
Hello, Helen Irwin. I live in Harleford Road. And I've been active, as some people here know, about the bus station for quite some time, and I'm looking forward to the presentation later this evening. But I wanted to raise an issue of principle while being a representative of the council. The London Borough of Lambeth has been, and its planning officers and its councillors and its leader, have been making clear now for years and years, since at least 2013, probably earlier, that it is their intention to demolish the bus station and replace it with what we used to describe as a row of shops. Well, we persuaded them some time ago that the row of shops wasn't tenable, and they've dropped the row of shops from the scheme. But TfL has now produced a planning application for knocking down the present bus station, halving it in size, and replacing the other half with a series of satellite bus stops. Now, the point I want to get across to you and to the council is that there are real issues of probity. Lambeth has always made it clear its intention to knock down the bus station. Transport for London owns it and is now submitting a plan to the planning company, which is the London Borough of Lambeth. How can Lambeth possibly be judge and jury on this? It's its own scheme. And Lambeth really does need to make absolutely desperately clear that this is being handled appropriately, properly, and within the law. We will certainly be campaigning to try and get the Secretary of State to pull the application in, simply because of this apparent, Lambeth has been party critic. But please do whatever you can. Talk to the planning people and make sure it's done properly.
Well, thank you, Pauline. There's absolutely, sorry, Helen. There's absolutely no evidence that it won't be done properly. I hear your concern. I know that you have very strong views about this. I know that it was a massive campaign in 2014 in the election, the local election campaign. So I'm aware of the strong views held. TfL has done a lot of consultation since then around that, and they've now put in their planning application. The planning committee, as I'm sure David will tell you, is a group of councillors that have to sit there and make decisions based on planning considerations and planning law. So I'm unclear how you can call it in yet because the decision hasn't actually been made. Yeah, so I hear what you say, but so you have to actually wait for that decision to be made. By all means, put in your views, by all means. But local authorities are frequently the developer and the planning authority. That's how the system works. David will tell you far better than I. So I don't accept that there are issues of probity around this. I think that both TfL and Lambeth Council have been very open. You may not agree, that's entirely your right not to agree, but they've been really open about it. It's on the website, look at the planning application, put in your views, come to the planning committee. And I would encourage everybody to, but also we should encourage our neighbours to as well, because people have different views, and that's what the TfL consultation showed. I don't also accept about the satellite bus stops from the plans that I've seen. That's not my understanding. I mean, I don't like getting the 196 now because I have to walk down Pennington Lane to get it. So there's always going to be issues around that, aren't there? But yeah, I hear your views. I know you have those views, and I respect them. TfL have put in the application, and Land Planning Authority will deal with it completely appropriately. And if there was any suggestion that they weren't, then I'd be the first as ward councillor to be siding with you in terms of them.
Are there any other questions?
Jill Gregson from Penton Road. There's a lot of work being done on the triangle from Oval down to Stockwell, bounded by Club Road, South Lansbury, about traffic and cut through. I was in the yard this afternoon and there were 8 cars or vans coming down every single time the traffic lights changed at the end of the road. So there's clearly a problem on either South Lansbury, Clapham Road. When we had South Lansbury Road closed for a train, TfL had a diversion, we had traffic all night. How much is the council tackling TfL about the cut-throughs that are now occurring? Because we're very concerned when all the development starts at Vauxhall, this is only going to get worse, and I don't think the air quality is going to be great. No,
Yeah, thanks. I'm really sorry, Jill. I should have mentioned that. It's on my list. I overlooked that because, yeah, we've been doing a lot of work. Mainly Councillor Hopkins has been working with Fenton Road SOS about this. So I don't know if you guys know, but Fenton Road always was a cut-through because it's always been on the knowledge. So cabbies have always used it, and it's quite a big road. But the problem has really escalated since the developments and since the left turn ban over and things like that. So residents have started a Save Our Streets campaign. We've been working with them, mainly Councillor Jack Hopkins has been working with them and got weight restrictions first of all. We are deploying CCTV there, but not continuously, but the van was there this week. I think it was, someone saw it. Oh great, so and we are enforcing that. So when we catch someone breaking the weight limit, etc., we are issuing them with fines. One of the problems is that a lot of the contractors, we don't know if they're TfL. Some of them are, some of them aren't, a lot of them aren't. But some of them are then developing a habit of just taking it as a hit, like an overhead. And so, you know, we need to start looking at something else. I know that the streets have a wish for it all to be cut off. That's really complex, like hugely complex to do that in terms of all sorts of things. I've forgotten the question you asked me, sorry.
working with TfL when they set diversion.
That was it. So at the community liaison group this week, I spoke to TfL and we raised this very issue. And they have monthly meetings with contractors about traffic flow. So I've asked the email address of the guys that I want to have a meeting between SOS and them. And if I can come along or Jack can come along, then I think we should do that because, and then maybe do a walkabout with them. And I think we really need to start setting it up and gathering evidence. But yeah, completely onto it and totally support you in what you're saying.
Any further questions?
Sorry to go back to the earlier issue that Helen raised about the Vauxhall bus station. Maybe I'm a bit ignorant, so perhaps you can help me out here, but why is it we need to pull down the bus station? It was only built, what, 12, 14 years ago? It's not the best bus station in the world, but it's okay, it's fairly compact, you know, there's one island, and you can find out where to get the bus from without the cost of road. And as I say, it was only built 12, 14 years ago. So I hear all the time about austerity, and TfL is a public body. So in an age of austerity, why have they got the money to tear down a building which is perfectly functional and was only built just over a decade ago? Perhaps you can help me out.
So I know that as a group, you've had TfL to loads of meetings. I've been to meetings about this with KOV. I know that this is an issue that's been discussed at length over many years. So I think probably you know just as well as me what the arguments are about that.